Gil Gross on KGO. We're talking about the California Republican primary for Senate. And we had Dick Morris speaking as an endorser of Carly Fiorina, although he was offered by the Fiorina campaign. Although I don't want to stick Fiorina with everything Dick said there. And now we've got Chuck DeVore. Chuck, welcome back to KGO. How are you?
Hey, thanks for having me back on your show.
It's good to have you back. So Dick Morris was just on. And other than the intriguing idea that it was, he felt it was okay to have my taxes audited by people in Pakistan and India if it saved the federal government money. I'm still trying to get over that one. He basically treated your campaign as kind of like the Leo DeRocher thing that nice guys finish last.
Well, you know, Dick Morris has been in the tank for Carly Fiorina from day one, and I just point out to your listeners that he is a moderate Democrat, so he's probably very comfortable with the philosophy that Carly Fiorina was espousing about a year ago before she made this mad dash to the right to try to convince people that she was as conservative as I am.
Yeah, in fact, even some of your backers who are now, not sure whether you can win are saying, well, one thing, Chuck turned Fiorina into a conservative because if he hadn't put her feet to the fire, she wouldn't have taken half the stand she was taking now.
Or really all of them. She's undergone a remarkable transformation, and I think that people need to ask themselves in the wake of Arnold Schwarzenegger's gubernatorial run, are we really willing to take another chance on a dilettante that doesn't have a public record? The fact is, until just a few months ago, she believed in global warming and was in favor of cap and trade. She supported the bailout of Wall Street. She supported Sonia Sotomayor's nomination. Now she's some gun-toting right-wing conservative, and that's fine if that's what she really believes in. But I think people have to ask themselves, is it genuine? And I think that's why I've got the majority of volunteers. So we've made some 150,000 personal phone calls. Of course, we've forsworn robocalls because they're actually illegal in California. And we've got a lot of folks out there walking precincts for us and waving signs on street corners, especially strong in the Bay Area, where I've actually got my largest and most well-organized volunteer crew, and I'd like to think it's because of me, but I think it's at least half is due to Nancy Pelosi, Barbara Boxer, and Dianne Feinstein all coming from the Bay Area as the main motivation.
Well, let me throw something that Morris said that was interesting, which almost I thought redounded more to you. I mean, nobody can doubt your conservatism, your record, and all of that. It's been unwavering. He said that he thought in this election, because of the economy, the argument that only a moderate like Tom Campbell could beat Barbara Boxer, you get to throw out the window because people are going to vote pocketbook, people are going to vote, the budget, the deficit, and all of that. I found it kind of interesting because I thought it was almost more of a speech that he might have made on your behalf than Carly Fiorina's. But the big argument against you by some people has been Fiorina's got money to make a run. Campbell can get moderates and crossover votes. And Chuck DeVore, well, he's a good conservative, but he doesn't stand to prayer in November. And how do you answer that?
Well, two things. First of all, I've got the volunteer passion and enthusiasm that neither of my two GOP opponents can muster. The entire ticket needs me, whether Whitman or Poizner are the nominees. What you find is they don't generate an enormous amount of volunteer passion. I do. I help the whole ticket. The other thing is I generally agree with Dick Morris and his assertion that financial issues, tax issues, basic bread and butter issues will be on the table this November. And, of course, I've got a great record, an actual voting record in Sacramento on those issues. But the thing that I fear, the thing that people who are thinking about supporting Carly Fiorina should be concerned about is Barbara Boxer has already telegraphed how she's going to take down Carly Fiorina. And, sadly, it's going to result in zero discussion on the issues because what she's going to do is she's going to pick apart Carly Fiorina's not only the lack of voting most of her adult life, but her record at Hewlett-Packard and her record at Lucent regarding the Russian bribery scandal, which has now come to light, regarding the sales of high-tech equipment to the Islamic Republic of Iran, where Carly Fiorina told CNN today that it was just printer ink, when in fact in the past she said she had no idea what was going on. And we know that far more than printer ink went to Iran. In fact, she awarded the company that did it as her wholesaler of the year in 2003. And lastly, and this is a big one, there's a trial that starts this month with Lucent Technologies, with these fraudulent accounting practices that she inaugurated as the chief of sales at Lucent. And I'm afraid that her name's going to be dragged through the mud every other day during that trial where her chief protege at Lucent is really under the gun. And what this will allow Barbara Boxer to do is, instead of engaging in a needed and substantive discussion about the course of the future, about the role the federal government should have, how big should it be, how much deficit, how much taxes, what Boxer will do is simply attack Carly Fiorina ad hominem for her failings at Hewlett-Packard. And you already saw this a couple of days ago, where Carly Fiorina went after Boxer for being weak on terrorism, saying that Boxer cared more about the weather than terrorism.
Yep.
Boxer's response was, well, excuse me, how could you hit me on terrorism when you sold high-tech gear to the Islamic Republic of Iran?
It's going to be an interesting few months, whoever gets the nomination. Chuck, hope to talk to you on Wednesday one way or another.
Absolutely.
Appreciate your coming on today.
Thank you.
All right, there's Chuck DeVore.